Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop simping in the workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere. The Gynocentric Godzilla has been on a rampage over the last year, and this Gynocentric Godzilla has destroyed numerous men's lives and numerous men's careers. Now, the Gynocentric Godzilla started its rampage in Hollywood, and this Gynocentric Godzilla, as it went on its rampage in Hollywood, decided to destroy the careers of Bill Cosby, and then later on decided to destroy the career of Roger Ailes and Bill O'Reilly. And after destroying those men and then embroiling many others in a scandal with its atomic flame, it then stomped its way over to New York, where the news media was. And as it went destroying the news offices of these major television networks, these allegations that it fired from its atomic flame consumed Matt Lauer and Charlie Rose. And after the Gynocentric Godzilla went on its rampage, destroying most of the news media offices and destroying the careers of prominent men in the news media, like your Matt Lauer and your Charlie Rose, this Gynocentric Godzilla decided it was going to go to Washington, D.C. And once it got to Washington, D.C., the Gynocentric Godzilla went on a rampage where it destroyed John Conyers and Al Franken and another Arizona congressman. And this Gynocentric Godzilla decided, after destroying those men, it set its sights on the ultimate challenge. And this ultimate challenge that the Gynocentric Godzilla is getting ready to go and engage in is taking on your president, Donald Trump. Now, this is setting up to be the ultimate battle between your Gynocentric Godzilla and the Trump Mothra. Now, the Trump Mothra is a formidable challenger to this Gynocentric Godzilla, but I don't think he really stands a chance. Yes, he's got a lot of mouth and he's got a lot of attitude, but I don't think Trump's got the weaponry to take on this Gynocentric Godzilla. And I think that this Gynocentric Godzilla has him by the legs, because the Gynocentric Godzilla is incredibly powerful. Because one of the things that the Gynocentric Godzilla has on the Donald Trump is this: your Gynocentric Godzilla voted 60% white female and 30% Hispanic female for him. So he has an obligation to serve that voting base. And that voting base is what put him in office in 2016. So this Gynocentric Godzilla has tremendous leverage over your Donald Trump. And as they make accusations at him regarding sexual assault, this is where your Donald Trump is in trouble, because the only reason, again, why he is the president of the United States right now is due to those women voting for him. And because these females are a large voting bloc and control a majority of the economy and the population in America, they have overall control over the country. So the Gynocentric Godzilla is incredibly powerful, and once they set their sights on someone, in most cases, they usually wind up getting destroyed. And with them having their sights on Donald Trump, your Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble, because the Gynocentric Godzilla is a monster that he has gotten most of his votes from. So he cannot turn on the Gynocentric Godzilla and start making accusations against it, because to make accusations against this Gynocentric Godzilla means that the Gynocentric Godzilla will turn its wrath on him. Now, your Donald Trump thought that because these females decided they were going to vote for him because they just, after hearing him say he could grab them by their privates, that he had it made. Unfortunately, no, you never have it made with this Gynocentrism and this Gynocentric Godzilla. No, the Gynocentric Godzilla only votes for those that they believe they can get the most control over. And the Gynocentrists in the Gynocentric Godzilla thought they could get the most control over your Donald Trump, more control than they would have under your Hillary Clinton. Because the election of Hillary Clinton to the presidency would mean that the Gynocentric Godzilla would lose all of its power. Because with the election of Hillary Clinton, what would have happened was everyone would have seen America as a fair and equal place, and females would not be able to use the power of gynocentrism to make themselves out to be the victim. However, with Donald Trump as the President of the United States, they are allowed to complain about the patriarchy and then say that Donald Trump and many other men are victimizing them, even though they voted in large majorities for your Donald Trump. This was all about keeping their power and their position in society, because when it comes down to gynocentrism, gynocentrism gets its power from men elevating women to a higher position. And because these males have continued to elevate this female to a higher position, this is what allows her to have the power and the position of the victim. Because if it wasn't for these beta males elevating her and then catering to her every need for attention or every complaint that she makes, she would have no power at all. And your Donald Trump got his power from this gynocentric Godzilla and the beta males who elevated this gynocentric Godzilla. So he's in a whole mess of trouble now that this gynocentric Godzilla that has destroyed all these other men is now turning their sights on him. And the whole thing the gynocentric Godzilla wants to do is the gynocentric Godzilla wants to not only get access to resources, she wants to grab more and more economic and political power. She wants to dominate and control the country. And this is something that many of the beta males don't understand about this gynocentric Godzilla. The gynocentric Godzilla sees how weak and vulnerable the country is and sees that keeping people believing that she's the victim allows her to get more and more power. And as she has grabbed more and more power, she is seeing that she can literally take the country. And this is what most people don't understand regarding this gynocentric Godzilla. This gynocentric Godzilla wants to grab all the economic power in the country and the political power in the country from the position of the victim, because the gynocentric Godzilla believes that the victim is a position of power. But no, the position of the victim is a position of weakness, and the fact that everyone is submitting and deferring to her and resigning their positions and getting fired shows how weak many of these executives are and how weak many of our politicians are. And it shows how vulnerable the country is, because all those who submit to the gynocentric Godzilla, they are showing how weak they are, because all they're thinking about is pleasing this female instead of doing what is right and is standing up to this gynocentric Godzilla and her numerous allegations of sexual harassment and sexual assault. Because I thought with this Constitution of this United States, we had freedom of, not only freedom of speech, but we had freedom to get due process under the law. And under due process under the law, I thought a person was innocent until proven guilty. But under the gynocentric Godzilla, those rights that were supposed to be guaranteed under the Constitution mean nothing when you take those allegations to social media and then try them in a court of public opinion. And a court of public opinion is not a court of law. So as I look at these cases that this gynocentric Godzilla is bringing up to destroy men, we really need to start standing up to this gynocentric Godzilla, because they are weakening the country by playing this victim position and grabbing power from the victim position. Because if these allegations were so important to these females, then why did they wait 30, 40, even 50 years ago and then bring them? Why didn't they bring them at the time? And why didn't they bring them to a court of law and allow all these men that they have alleged that they have been wronged to go in front of a judge in a court of law and give that man the due process he's supposed to have under the Constitution? Now, maybe some of these men might have acted inappropriately, but if this is the case, then let's take them to court and let this man have his right of due process under the law, and let's put this evidence in front of a jury. That's what a person who really cares about America would say in the face of all these allegations alleged by this perpetual victim known as the gynocentric Godzilla. Because to say that these men have done all this stuff and Human Resources did nothing about it for years, or nobody decided to take this to a court of law after over 20, 30, 40 years, that really shows me again how weak this country is in terms of leadership and terms of the direction that it's going in. The fact that these gynocentrists are trying to grab power by playing the position of the victim, this is something that really shows how weak America is, and it shows me how dangerous things are in this country, because for females to try to grab power this way shows me that they're not going to be responsible for this country. And that's one of the reasons why they voted in large majorities for Donald Trump, because they wanted to continue getting benefits from this country, but they didn't want to continue taking responsibility for the sad state of affairs that this country is in. And the reason why this country is in a sad state of affairs is due to gynocentrism and the whole victim mentality that has become a whole culture here in America. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS direct publications, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.